Welcome to the north, grim north. Clouds, rain. Yep, all that. If you're from the north, you know what I'm talking about. Well, we're off to, we don't actually know where we're going.
Northern Lights.
Northern Lights. The Northern Lights. The man in the back's got the directions. We're going to go and pick some stage lights up. It's a great city. I love it. We've lived here all our lives, and you know, when you're young, you kind of naturally, you're never happy with where you live, are you? But the older you get a bit older, and you've been around a few cities and that, and you come home and. Yeah, I love it. Back in the day, they used to have a lot of big touring bands come to Lancaster up at the university. The Great Hall, it was called. Slade and Queen, AC/DC, The Clash. These bands all came through in the 70s. And it's always talked about around Lancaster, about the good old days. There's no in-between venues in Lancaster. The venues in Lancaster to do your own sort of stuff, like 100-cap venues are great, but we wanted to try and... because we haven't played it for a while, I wanted to come and do something, really kick it in the balls, you know. Try and bring a bigger night of rock back, you know, a bit of an event to be remembered again.
Usual thing with changing fuses, if it does go, unplug it from the mains.
Yeah.
Phillips type screwdriver,
Yeah, no
that
worries.
comes out, change it.
Nice guy.
Nice guy.
It's alright. Do the job, I reckon.
Those were flogging them. Yeah. Just like a limited edition thing. Got t-shirts with it on and everything. Got to sign them. We've had posters before and they always sell really well. It's amazing how many bands don't do that.
We want to come back and we want to give the people that have supported us, you know, from the start of this band in Lancaster something. We want them to be kind of proud of us, as cheesy as that sounds, because we're proud of this place, you know.
Putting a gig on in the City Library, which obviously doesn't happen very often. And if it ever does happen, it's usually
Normally rock band.
Indie folky kind of stuff. But we're bringing bars in and big stage
300
and
greasy rockers, all thirsty.
Yeah. So we're literally moving the books out.
Fanny Waterman's My Life in You.
Building a stage and now putting a gig on.
And for it to sell out in 4 days is just like, it's absolutely blown our mind. It really has blown our mind. The rock community in this country is amazing. The kind of underground at the moment, rock community is great. You play hard and people like you, and you go to their towns and they will come and see you wherever you will play. It's just fantastic. Got people coming from all over the gaff. It's been hard. It has been hard work. It's been 8 years of hard work playing. The first 3 years of the band's life, we played because we all have full-time jobs. We're playing sort of 300 gigs in 3 years, which might not sound a lot to some bands, but when you've got a full-time job and you're playing 3 nights a week as well, you're starting at 6 o'clock in the morning for work, you know, till 5, and then going straight from work straight to Manchester or straight up to Glasgow to play a biker rally. Or we just grafted, and those people have absolutely stuck with us all this time, and they're still with us. They still come and watch gigs, and they love the fact that it's gone how it's gone, how it's taking off, and they love our own music, and they're so happy for us. And it's just a massive clan. It's just brilliant. At first, it was a very stereotypical kind of a person. You're your rocker, your biker. But I tell you what, it's just not anymore. It's everybody. The people, there's all sorts. You get kids at shows, you get youngsters. It's great to see. You think the youngsters don't, because it's not commercial. You think that the youngsters don't get into this music anymore, but they do. We get teenagers at our shows and stuff.
Our influences are wide and varied, and we don't really write for a particular genre or anything. We just write, and it's always going to come out sounding like us, sounding like hard rock, but you get all these different flavours, and it's pretty universal, really, as far as rock music goes.
Accessible, I think.
Accessible. It's just, I want people to have a good time. You know, we don't have a political agenda or anything like that to push. It's just, you know, you're here watching a band.
We write music that we like. We don't set out with an agenda. We've got to write this sort of song, or we're a hard rock band, we need to sound like this band. We've got, like Adam said, we've got a massive range of influences, and we love all sorts of music. So we just write what we believe is good music.
And I think we're hitting our stride with taking all this and making it go up a level, mate. It's usually quite a taking like all these influences and things, and it's coming together, and it's sounding like Massive Wagons as opposed to Massive Wagons doing this kind of music, if you know what I mean. Rick Parfitt passed last Christmas, and we were huge Core fans, massive, and of all the sort of rock stars that died that year, and bad year for music, that one really hit us harder. I don't know, because it wasn't just the music of Quo, it was their kind of very British, that personality, lads done good kind of thing. We really related to that. So when Rick died, it was genuinely gutting for us. And literally the song was written in the space of 5 minutes. We just sat down and I said, right, I'm going to just start playing a Quo, it's fair to say, it's fairly Quo inspired riff. Wrote like instantly, didn't think about it, give it to Baz, and he took it away. And I didn't even give it to him intending it to be a tribute to Quo, but he took it and wrote these amazing, really amazing sort of tribute lyrics to Rick.
So it took a bit of thinking about. I wanted to describe, in the song I described the guy, well, what my views on him, what I thought he looked like, what he meant to me, where he stood on stage, how he was dressed. There's a few Quo lyrics in there I wanted to put in. I didn't want to put too much of that in. Just something the fans would hopefully relate to, and just what he meant to us. And there's a great line. We supported the Wildhearts the first night we ever played it at the Ritz in Manchester, and that's the first time we'd ever played it. And there's a line in it where the music stops and I sing "Raise Your Glass for Rick," and the whole crowd, man, just went mad. The cheer is just unreal.
Yeah! Why don't you raise your glass for Rick? 'Cause I'm raising mine. Back to the step, back to the step. That's on attack, you know.
See, I'd have a stage up there.
People bring up the working class thing as a bit of a badge of honour, but it's something to be proud of.
Nowadays and not else.
Yeah, I don't like bringing it up because it's not. I don't want it to be sort of something you display, but it is. It's we're proud of where we come from, and our fathers and grandfathers are all working class people, and we work full-time jobs and been doing this for years with a full-time job. So yeah, it's all about graft.
That background instilled a work ethic, that we applied to the band. We never treat it like a hobby, it was always, how would you approach this as if it was your primary
Get out of it
time,
things come hard in life. For working class people, things come hard, so when you get something, you take care of it. And when something like this comes along and it starts to flourish, you take care of it, you don't want to ruin it. This is the only band we have ever been in. We knew nothing when we started this. We have found our way. We didn't know what a promoter was. We didn't know where the venues were. We didn't really know much about writing songs. And it's taken this long. And we have built up a solid foundation of information, contacts, and venues that know we're a reliable band and that we come and do the business. And the fan base has followed us just through graft and hard work,
And as Baz said, it's rare these days for a band to start literally from square one, completely green, completely naive to everything. Could barely play the instruments really, and then you just get. Well, some would argue we still can, but
I think the naivety drove us on.
Yeah. If we were aware that it was going to take nearly a decade for us to get to even this kind of level,
Yeah.
But then again, he's done us.
But we still practice hard, don't we? We still practice like we've only
Yeah,
been going for a year, and we dedicate time after work.
Well, we all grew up with parents who were big into music and rock music in particular, and of course it rubs off on you, and it was just a real, I won't say a driving force. We weren't pushed into doing it. I think we always wanted to do it.
Obviously the Earache thing is fantastic, but that's like where we are now, but it's all led up to that. Everything we've done from playing like the Boozers down the road, the pub and that, and the bobbing and stuff, and then just keep it on going, releasing albums and then getting more fans. The whole social media thing, you can't say that's not a factor, because you can actually physically see things improving,
I think,
and then you can look back on it, can't you?
We realised early on that you have to spread your wings to get somewhere, so if it means driving down to London to play 20 minutes at 5 in the afternoon to a few people, You got to do it because you literally have to start at that point. And that's where we did that for years and years. And then the people get more and more. They tell their mates. We've released 3 albums this far, so we have something to get your teeth into. You know, I mean, it's not like go and check out my SoundCloud or anything. You know, we have 3 tangible albums for people to go and buy, and people buy them, and the quality's, you know, obviously been there. So people get it, and then all of a sudden they're the big fan. Like, I hate to use the word fan, but you know, they're kind of big followers of yours, and they will make the effort to come to gigs.
You know, there was never been a lot of money flowing around, but we had to club together and buy a van. That was the best thing we ever did, was buy a van. We were going to gigs in 5 cars. You know, we bits and pieces of gear all over the place. We bought a van. Right, we can go a van. We can go further afield now all together. You know, that was a massive thing.
A turning point came maybe a couple of years ago when it became self-sufficient. You know, the money we were earning from the band funded the band, which we weren't all taking wage of, you know, earning a living that way, but we were no longer having to put our own money into the band. And you know, that once that happened, it kind of allowed us to, you know, invest in, you know, like I said, vans and backdrops and better gear and all the kind of stuff that goes into it. Yeah, it allows you to focus on the performance side and really hone what you do. And I genuinely think it takes a band a number of years to realise what they do well. You know what I mean?
Find their feet.
Yeah, I mean, musically, we kind of seem to have cultured this very, very British, almost like Slade kind of. I can't put my finger on it, but you know, just the kind of, I had to keep bringing it up, but you know, the working class rock.
It's easy to sort of look flash and maybe, you know, look pretty, but when it comes down to it, the songs are what counts. You know, and we're writing songs based on our influences, and that's all comes from like UFO, bands like that, Slade, AC/DC, any of these bands that are hard-working bands. They're not, you know, they were like nowadays. It looks like bands get it on a plate. Well, they don't. We definitely don't. So, you know, then when stuff does happen, it's ace, and then it will show in the next album, definitely.
Inside people, everybody likes good music, whether they think they do or they don't. You know, good tunes are good tunes, and we like to think we write great accessible tunes, good rock tunes. I think metalers, when it all comes down to it, they all like rock music. It's, you know, good rock songs. You know. You can like everything else, but I think we write a great core, you know, of what it's all about.
We kind of got one foot in all of these different genres, in the metal and the, you know, the AOR and the maybe to an extent the glam and the punk, you know, that we kind of have a bit of appeal to all of those, and it's not by design. Yeah. But we're not kind of marginalised like maybe the metalers seem to be, or the punks. You know, we're just sort of in the middle. You know, we don't.
And that's not a conscious decision. That's not. I think let's try and conquer all markets here. It's because we genuinely like all the music.
Even back when bands like Quo and Slade were popular, like when they were in their heyday, they weren't cool. They weren't cool.
It was almost cool to be uncool.
Yeah. But you know, we just do what we do. I think people like it, and I think it will come around again.
Get in.
Got me good side to my feet this morning.
Right, cheers.
Thanks very much. We'll see you tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could someone give it that tenner?
So this is the pub. This is where we first started playing. This is when we first started out. To get a gig here was like our dream and ambition, really. We're probably playing for about a year before we got a gig here, and then once we got in, once they seen us and knew us, we were like a regular booking. So we used to play here maybe four or five times throughout the year. Did like Boxing Day gigs, one of the best gigs we've ever done. So we did that for about 3 years on the trot. And then we now only sort of play here once every year, just because we've been doing it for 8 years, playing 5 or 6 times a year. But it's ace in here when it's packed.
This was our Wembley. You know, when we were, you know, it's true. This was our bloody, this was our Woodstock. We came here every weekend watching bands, and you learn a lot watching bands. We learned a lot doing the cover stuff. So you learn what people like, and we also built up this massive repertoire of cover songs that we're able to call upon, you know. And that's always looked impressive, you know. So play Mr. Crowley or something. And like, all right, you know, that's cool.
The hallowed turf. This place. Spill some blood on there. Yeah. Sweat.
That is the stage.
That's it. Yeah. Just whip the playing between the tables and chairs. No. My dad was our sound man. Used to put the sound desk there, like he's deaf as a post. He used to say they couldn't hear the people ordering drinks because it was that loud. The glasses went on the shelves, like mega place. I don't know what it's like for other bands, but he'll come to me with riffs, ideas, or I'll go around to his house and record stuff in his kitchen on my phone on a recorder, whatever. And I take them away and I'll put lyrics. I'll write things down. I write lyrics to them and then take them back to him. And Adam has a great natural knack of arranging music. And we have lyrics, we have the riffs, and we take them to the rest of the guys, and the rest of the guys all throw their opinion in the hat.
And then it just basically gets not taken apart, but our, like I say, got on like later, but influences will just sort of push their way in, and then we'll be honest with each other. If we think something's crap, we'll say, if it's not going to work, or we'll try working on something. And the process that's worked for us is we've been able to gig them new songs and play them when we were gigging all the time anyway, and then we end up rehashing songs, totally reworking them. I know our live was a bit like that, where it didn't work, it was verse chorus sort of standard, and then it just ended up being one long song.
That's interesting. So you judge a song by how well it goes down live, and then if it's just not working, you'll tweak it.
I think not reaction wise, I don't think, more like for us. I think
it certainly worked more like that in the early days, because we didn't know what was good and what wasn't. We have a better idea of that now.
And doing the cover circuit was nothing to do with the original circuit, and the cover circuit people, the venues, let us play our own stuff. So it was a great opportunity to play these songs to people and gauge a reaction and see how they feel. But it wasn't sort of, they weren't open to the world then. They were just played. It was always played on biker rallies and stuff. And we tested the walk with them, then take them away. Then when we went to do original gigs, we could put the finished product bang straight in the original set. At original band nights when we play with the bands on bills and stuff. And we knew they were right. So I think the cover circuit gave us a great another angle to test our music out.
And it just gets you tight, gets your gig tight. Because you have to be. You just don't get booked again.
Some bands frown on it. We've encountered bands that look down on cover bands and stuff. And think, we don't want to do the cover circuit. So there's nothing wrong with it. You're playing on a stage. You're playing for 2 hours. You're playing in front of hundreds of people. You're playing together on stage all the time. You are doing that. Whatever songs you're playing, you're getting better and you're honing what you do. And then when you go and play your original stuff with your other bands, you're like, wow, these guys are good. Why are they so good? Because we're out every weekend, biker rallies in pubs, entertaining people. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's certainly been a transformation. Been here all day, and it was a few hours ago. It was full of intellectuals, and now it's just full of morons. We've got rid of the intellectuals. The road crew guys have sorted us out a new backdrop with the war pig on it, which is a massive honour for us, really, to have that on there. Really looking forward to the show now. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah, they've had. Talked to a few people outside, and they've seen a lot of t-shirts around, a lot of rockers looking around. So in the pubs, and some have been at it all day. So that's a good sign. We absolutely 100% do it for people's entertainment. We always found ourselves. We're in the pub. It's the pub environment, having a beer. We're all together having a great time. It's always about having a great time, and
we want to be a band that we would enjoy watching. You know what I mean? Everything we do, it's always like, well, I would like seeing a band do that. I would like hearing a band do
that. People always talk about making it in a band. Oh, I want these guys to make it. Or people say, I'd love to make it in a business. I mean, that's such a massive I mean, what the hell does that mean, you know? But to me, that means getting to a point where our music is taken seriously and it will be remembered, and we can make a mark and leave something to be remembered.